Musk made an about face with Twitter, and I'm going to lay out some Dr. Boy's thoughts on Elon Musk's move to acquire so much of Twitter. And then I'm also going to talk about what's going on in the stock market today. So I want you to get comfortable, buck up your seatbelt. We're going to get started on the Black Financial Channel right now. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I am your friendly neighborhood finance professor. On the Black Financial Channel, we talk about Black wealth and Black economics every single day, sometimes as much as 10 times a day under one condition. The condition is that we are Black first. Black first means we love ourselves and we ain't apologizing to nobody about it. Black first means we solve our community's problems first. Black first means that we put ourselves at the top of the priority list instead of everybody else. We got to undo that slave training. So if you agree with the Black first philosophy and that's okay with you, if it's okay to be Black up in the space, then put a hashtag B and the number one in the chat, hashtag B1. I want to make it clear. We don't hate anybody. We just love ourselves. So anyway, I want to say hello to my name is Corey, Adam Carter, Khalid, and Regal, and everybody else that's in here today. So give me a yes or no. Give me a yes or no in the chat. And what's up to everybody on TikTok? My TikTok is Boyce Watkins. Just look me up on TikTok if you want to hop in there too. I decided to engage you guys today a little bit. And so how many of you heard about Elon Musk making a big acquisition of Twitter? Does anybody know this? Give me a yes or no in the chat if you saw any of the buzzing tweeting about Elon Musk making a big move on Twitter, becoming the largest shareholder in Twitter. I think he owns almost 10% of the company. There's at 10%. The regulations start to change. So he bought like 9.8% or something like that. But yeah, Elon Musk decided to do what the richest man in the world might do if he's a really smart guy and also not afraid to ruffle some feathers. He made a big acquisition in Twitter. He owns a big stake of Twitter, and a lot of people feel that a lot of people thought or expected that he was going to join the board of Twitter. Well, today Twitter stock plummeted actually before it opened, before it hit the market, and it plummeted because the CEO of Twitter announced that Elon Musk is not going to be on the board of Twitter, which I thought was really interesting that Elon Musk would turn that down. But I don't know how much that means. I think that Elon Musk is making that move because it's more of an activist kind of investor move. It's him engaging in what I've talked to you guys about a lot. I've talked to you guys a lot about this on the platform, that money is power. Money is power, and money is used on a regular basis for various forms of economic warfare. And if you don't understand that, then you don't know what it means to be Black, because money is consistently used to control you. Money has been used to control you since slavery. When you get out of line on your job, somebody answer me in the chat. If a Black person gets outspoken on their job and starts talking all that racial stuff on their job, what do you think is going to happen to that Black person? What do you think what do you think they're going to get raises and promotions and more money? Do you think they're going to get a big pay raise for being outspoken on the job? What happens to a Black person on the job when they run their mouth a little bit too much and get a little bit too political and get a little bit too Black on the job? Can anybody guess? Any Black people in the room that know what I'm talking about? Well, they fire you. Your Black ass will be fired before you come back in for lunch. And so ultimately, economic warfare is something that you're accustomed to. You just don't maybe understand exactly how to play it. Maybe you don't understand the dynamics of what's going on. I don't know, but ultimately, Elon Musk, even though he's not Black, he's not Black like us. He's a guy that's very interesting to watch because he's a guy who is a rebel, who wants to change society. He's made that really, really clear. He's also a guy who's not afraid. He's a guy who also is smart, very smart and capable enough to become the richest man on earth. So now Elon is using a lot of his money to do a lot of things that are very activist oriented, like go to Mars, because he thinks that the environment is going to destroy the earth, which he's probably right about that. He wants to make electric cars because he thinks the environment is going to destroy the earth. That's part two. He wants to buy Twitter, or a big chunk of Twitter, or control Twitter. Well, why would Elon Musk want to control Twitter? Well, because Twitter is a power broker in this society. Right now, the technocrats, the digital companies, have a huge amount of control over freedom of speech. They can decide who talks and who doesn't. And you've seen this. You've seen this especially during an election year. You saw during the pandemic where they took anybody who had an opinion that differed from the mainstream opinion and they labeled them as misinformation, even though months later it was determined that a lot of the things that they labeled as misinformation was actually good information, but you couldn't get the good information because they were labeled as misinformation, basically saying that if you don't have a certain amount of power, you can't talk. So Elon Musk is a smart guy, and he's smart. I admire him. I respect him. He's smart enough to know which way the world is turning, and so he's using his technology skill, his massive wealth, and his intellect and his understanding of trends to go ahead and get positioned where he can actually have the power to share his voice in an authentic way, in an honest way, which is really in contrast to what I suspect he's going through in China, because you know that Elon Musk he's got factories, Tesla factories in China, and I'm really curious. It's really interesting to see how his strategy in China is different from his strategy in the U.S. In the U.S., he'll run his mouth all day to the regulators. In the U.S., he'll be as outspoken as he wants to be. In China, they don't play that. In China, they say you don't have freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is for suckers. So in China, Elon Musk's strategy is going to be very different from what his strategy is in the United States. Okay. So anyway, with that said, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up. If you stay to the end, I'll give you guys a stock that I really, really like that I saw this morning that I'm going to invest in that I think you guys may want to take a look at. I'll mention that toward the end. Also, I want to remind everybody, if you have children, I don't know how many of y'all have kids and you want your kids to learn about wealth, we have a few of our financial workbooks back in stock. As you know, they sold out and they were completely gone, but we got some more back in stock, and they're going to sell out again very quickly. So if you want to take a look at our workbooks, we have workbooks for every grade level. We got a team of experts together to teach Black kids about economics. Now, you ain't got to be Black to read the books, just like I don't have to be white to go to Harvard. But just know that these books were designed for Black children because we have a problem to solve in our community. We have a wealth gap in our community. We have a lot of economic pain and devastation in our community. We must solve this. We must make sure that the next generation is prepared. And so we designed these workbooks specifically to solve that problem. So if you are interested and you'd like to take a look, you can go to financialworkbooks.com. That's the URL, financialworkbooks.com. But like I said, we're going to sell out fast because they sell out really quickly. And sometimes it's hard to keep them in stock. So anyway, let me keep going. Hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. I'm going to give you guys a quick overview of what's happening in the market right now. I'm going to read a little bit, and then I'm going to kind of give you a Dr. Boyce interpretation of this in terms of what's going on. So it says stocks fell on Monday as interest rates continue to climb on concerns of tighter monetary policy from the Federal Reserve that could slow economic growth. The Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped 120 points, and it dropped mainly because Treasury yields have hit a 3-year high overnight. Basically, what's going on is people are getting ready for the Fed. The Fed has basically said, look, we're going to go hard. We're going to stamp inflation. We're going to be aggressive. Get ready. That means that the stock price is going to get hit. Here's the other critique of the Fed that a lot of people have had right now. In case you don't know, the Federal Reserve, they're the big bosses of what happens in your economic world for the most part. They have a lot of economic power. So what the big bosses have basically been challenged on is people have said, you need to not just stamp out inflation. You need to stamp out another type of inflation that people don't talk about. People talk about inflation when it comes to the price of gas. People talk about inflation when it comes to the price of food. People talk about inflation when it comes to the price of housing. Nobody talks about another type of inflation that's incredibly insidious. It's really been going on for about 20 years now, which is called asset inflation. Asset inflation is where the value of all the investable assets goes up because the money is so easy to obtain. You can go sign a piece of paper, get a 1% loan from a bank for a bunch of money and go buy assets, which pumps up the values of these assets. That's what's happened to your stock market. So a lot of people are advocating that they need to pop the bubble in the stock market. That creates a very scary time for you in the stock market because some of these companies are not even real. Some of these companies are ghosts that are literally being propped up by fake money. So ultimately, you're going to see a lot of transition. You're going to see some interesting challenges. You're going to see the Fed getting really aggressive, and the market's just preparing for that. Remember, the stock market is a forward-looking indicator. That means that they react today as if tomorrow has already happened. Let me say that again. They react today as if tomorrow has already happened. So when an announcement is made, the Fed reacts as if it's happening right now. And so ultimately, this drop that you saw in your stocks this morning was driven largely by this concern that the Fed is going to come hard. They're coming in there like somebody, if y'all old school, you remember when your mama would come in there with the belt and you hear I don't know if y'all went through this. Maybe this was traumatic. I probably need a therapist about this. But I was little, I used to get whoopings and I probably deserved half of them. And my mom would come down, I would hear the belt jingling and I would just kind of react like, oh shit, my mom was coming. So ultimately, but with the Fed, that's what's going on. Mama's coming, and the Fed is about to whoop that ass, and everybody's getting ready for it because when the Fed comes, when they start cranking up interest rates, it's going to keep pushing down your stocks a little bit. But don't have any fear. It doesn't mean you have to be afraid. There are opportunities out there. In fact, let me give you a stock right now that I really like. I'm going to buy this stock, and I think it's a stock worth looking at Match.com, Match Group. Match Group is the company that owns Match.com because they hook people up, get them dating each other. They've been doing that for over 20 something years. And in fact, when I was much younger, I tried Match.com. I couldn't do it when I got like more well known because people Google you and stuff. But I don't want to be chased. I don't want to be attracting no gold diggers or whatever. So anyway, but with the point being said, though, Match.com, I think, is a company worth investing in. I'm going to invest in this company. The ticker symbol is MTCH. If you'd like to see more of the stock picks, I pick stocks every week for my students. You can log in. Just go to BoyceWatkins.com. You can do a free trial in my Black Stock Market program. You don't have to be black to be there, but just know Black wealth is what I wake up and think about every day because that's the number one problem I want to solve. So Elon Musk wants to solve the environment. Well, I want to solve the Black wealth problem. That's what I've committed my life to, and I ain't apologizing to nobody, but we don't hate anybody. So don't think that because I love Black people that I dislike anybody else. I ain't got time to be hating on nobody. All I got time is to love my people. Anyway, with that said, I hope you guys have a great day. God bless you. And also, don't forget the All Black National Convention is happening at the end of October in Charlotte, North Carolina. If you'd like to join us, feel free to go to BoyceWatkins.com. You can pick up your passes for the convention there. And also the financial workbooks. They're also at BoyceWatkins.com. So if you have kids, you want to get them ahead of the curve, don't forget that the earlier you start training your children for wealth, the better off they're going to be. Think about this. We train our children to play football at an early age. We train our children to play basketball at an early age. We train our children to go to dance camp at an early age. I just went to my daughter's dance camp the other day. Why not train our children on wealth so that they can avoid the economic pain that many of us experience because nobody prepared us to play this game at the highest levels? So if you're interested in taking a look at our workbooks for kids, feel free to go to BoyceWatkins.com. They're there as well. So anyway, God bless you guys. Have a great day. I hope this conversation was helpful to you. I also hope you'll hit the thumbs up button on your way out the door. And I shall see you all soon. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Peace.